Today, we are diving deep into the Bhagavad Gita, and we're tackling a problem that's literally thousands of years old, but feels like it could have been written about, well, about this morning. It's that universal battle between our duties, our ambitions, and that deep, nagging search for inner peace.
You know that feeling, right? One minute you're all in, chasing your goals, you've got responsibilities, you're trying to make things happen. And the next, a part of you just wants to hit the emergency brake, step away from all the chaos, and just find a moment of quiet. Well, that exact feeling, that's the crisis facing the warrior Arjuna on the battlefield. And honestly, his dilemma is our dilemma. So let's break this down. The Gita frames this whole thing as the action paradox. It really feels like we have to make a choice, doesn't it? Either you're a person of action out there in the world, or you're a person of peace, seeking tranquility. But what if that's a false choice? What if we don't have to pick one over the other? Now, Lord Krishna, he lays out these two paths that look like they go in completely opposite directions. On one side, you have karma yoga, the path of selfless action. This is all about doing your duty, being engaged with life, but, and this is the key, without getting hung up on the results. Then on the other side, you have Sankhya. This is the path of renunciation, of stepping back from the world of action to just focus on gaining spiritual knowledge. So, which is it? Do you act or do you retreat? And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Arjuna asks point blank, which path is better? And Krishna's answer is probably not what most of us would expect. It basically flips the whole debate on its head. So the first thing Krishna does is set the record straight. He says, look, only people who don't really get it see these two paths as totally separate. The wise, they understand that if you truly master one of them, you get all the benefits of both. They're really just two sides of the same coin, and they both lead to the exact same place, liberation. And then, bam, he drops this bombshell. Krishna flat out declares that karma yoga, the path of engaged, selfless action, is actually superior to just giving up action. For most of us, for real people living in the real world, engaging with life is a much more practical and effective path to enlightenment than trying to run away from it. Okay, so why? Why is it better to act? Well, because trying to just quit everything on the outside is incredibly hard, especially if your mind on the inside is still a mess of desires and attachments. It's kind of like trying to put a lid on a boiling pot. The pressure just builds. Krishna explains that selfless action, karma yoga, actually purifies the mind. It cleans house internally, making the whole spiritual journey a lot smoother and ultimately a lot faster. This brings us to the absolute core of this teaching, what I like to call the lotus leaf mindset. It's all about completely redefining what it even means to renounce something. It's not about what you do on the outside. It's about how you think on the inside. So what is a true renunciant or a nitya samyasi anyway? Well, according to the Gita, it has absolutely nothing to do with living in a cave or wearing special robes. A true renunciant is anyone who is internally free from that constant push and pull of likes and dislikes. They don't crave the good stuff, and they don't despise the bad stuff. Real renunciation is a state of inner balance. And here's this beautiful, powerful image for it. The Gita says that a person who acts with this mindset isn't tainted by the consequences of their actions, just like a lotus leaf sits right on the water but never gets wet. Think about that. You can be fully immersed in the world, in the messiness of life, and still remain pure and unaffected by it all. So let's just make this crystal clear. You do not have to quit your job, you don't have to leave your family, you don't have to abandon your responsibilities to find peace. The real spiritual work is to do all those things, but with a new mindset, one of complete detachment from the fruits of your labor. Okay, so what does this actually look like in practice? How does an enlightened person move through the world? Because this mindset, it builds into a totally radical new way of seeing everything. Now, this is going to sound a little strange, but hang in there with me. The person who really gets this, deep down, realizes a profound truth. I am not the one doing anything. They understand that their true self, the core of their consciousness, is just an observer. It doesn't act, it simply witnesses. Just think about your day. When you're seeing something or hearing a sound or eating, walking, talking, the enlightened perspective is that these are all just mechanical processes. It's your senses interacting with the world. The real you, your true self, is totally separate from all that activity, just watching it happen. And when you stop identifying so fiercely with your own actions, your own ego, something amazing starts to happen. You begin to develop what the Gita calls samadarshina, the ability to see with equal vision. you start to see the same essential truth, the same spark in everyone and everything. To drive this point home, the Gita gives this almost shocking list. It says the wise person sees with equal vision a learned and respected scholar, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and even an outcast. I mean, think about that. All the external differences, form, intelligence, social status, they just melt away. They become totally irrelevant. So, what's the payoff? What do you actually get for cultivating this kind of mindset? Well, the ultimate reward for living a life of detached action and equal vision is nothing less than a deep, unwavering, unshakable peace. See, when you stop desperately chasing happiness from things outside of yourself, praise, success, pleasure, you stumble upon a source of joy that was already inside you the whole time. It's a happiness that doesn't care if things are going your way or not. It comes from connecting with your true self. The Gita lays out the stakes here so clearly. On one side, you have the person who is united, the one who acts without attachment. That person finds steadfast peace. On the other side, you have the person who is ununited, the one who's driven by their desires for a certain outcome. And that person, well, they become bound, trapped in that endless cycle of wanting and being disappointed. And the number one reward, the ultimate prize, it's not just a fleeting good mood. The Gita calls it akshayam sukham, an imperishable, unending joy. It's this profound state of being that is constant, totally reliable, and completely self-contained. And this final quote just brings it all home so perfectly. It completely resolves that paradox we started with. The true renunciant and the true yogi, they're the exact same person. It's anyone who does what they have to do, but without being a slave to the results. Action and renunciation just merge into one superior path. So this incredible ancient wisdom isn't just philosophy. It's a practical guide for life. Which brings us to a final question for you to think about. What is one action, just one thing on your to-do list today? It could be making a tough phone call, writing an email, even just washing the dishes, that you could try to perform with this mindset of a detached observer, focusing purely on the action itself, and just for a moment, letting go of the result.